Welcome to the Yas Marina circuit for the DSBK Middle East Championship. For the first time in the championship history, we are racing here in the heart of Abu Dhabi. We're actually just on the outskirts of Abu Dhabi, but it's the first time ever in the championship history that we have visited this track for any form of racing. We've done track days in the past, but we've never gone officially racing around the Yas Marina circuit. Now, we're not doing the full Grand Prix circuit configuration. Instead, we're actually doing the North Chicane instead, so we won't have the Marina Bay section of the Yas Marina. Instead, we will cut off at the end of turn 5 and 6. We'll take the left hand through turn 7, and then we will go right through turn 16 to complete the lap here. So the lap times here will be very quick, and here we are, 20 minutes of qualifying for what is a historic moment in the DSBK Middle East Championship. Welcome to qualifying, and welcome, of course, to our first live track session here this weekend. If you joined before, you know exactly what you're in store for here. It is motorcycle racing in the United Arab Emirates, and it is intense as you can imagine. Today, though, we have a full grid of 18 riders who will make their way onto the picturesque Yas Marina circuit. Those include our race winner, or a double race winner actually, from last time out, Saeed Al Salati, the Qatari. He was the man to beat in both races overall in the modified category. Well, he has a very large target on his back, and well, he's got more riders that are coming for him in this race, and they will be challenging him for the first victory ever around the Yas Marina circuit. I also see that on the back straight is that we have a chicane that's been built in here for the motorcyclists, and that is not used in any of the racings that we're using with the cars, including the Radical World Finals and Golf Pro Car. But there we can see that is the number 18. Is that Saeed Al Salati? Yes, no, he's the number 11. That is the 18 we're currently looking at here as Saeed Al Salati goes to the top of the timing sheets as he's making his way around. That's Johan Gauss that we were looking at. That is Tony Garvin, who of course returns from last weekend, or 2 weeks ago, excuse me. He had a great time out at the Dubai Autodrome, was on the podium no less than twice in his class, and would like to be on the top step of the podium this time round, because of course one rider we don't have here this weekend, which is rather unfortunate, is Firas Abu Ghanem. He's one of these riders who just captivates everybody. He has this presence about him that you just want to come up and talk to him. He's a very friendly character, very outgoing, but unfortunately we don't have him here in his very vibrant orange jumpsuit. But he'll be back hopefully for the next round of DSBK Middle East Championship racing, which of course take place in 2 weeks' time. Now, the fastest man out there so far in the modified is Simon Reed with a 1:14.769, and it's Saeed Al Salati who currently sits in second with a 1:15.314. He is 0.6 of a second slower at the moment compared to Simon Reed. However, he's just in a personal best, and across the line he does a 1:13.744. Yuri Nekrasov returns to the championship, which is fantastic to see him back here in the DSBK Middle East Championship. He lines up at the moment in third in Super Stock, but of course that will be pole position essentially for the Super Stock category. Manuel Parra, he will be in second provisionally with the second fastest time in Superstock, but fourth overall, 0.4 of a second off of Yuri Nekrasov's time with a 1:17.001, with Yuri doing a 1:16.568. Tom Robson with a 1:18.822, but now he's just bested that with a 1:17.720. Mohammed Shamsia, one of our rookies who returned from last year, he is sixth fastest at the moment with a 1:19.115, but Simon Reed now goes quick as well with a 1:13.593. He's almost 0.2 of a second quicker than the previous race winner, Saeed Al Salati. Saskia Totaro now goes third fastest with a 1:14.982, and the red flag has come out here. Now, Tony Garvin has gone into the pit lane to do a few adjustments. Hands up there to signify to the riders around Saskia there that he is slowing down and to be a bit cautious there. That's a cautionary sign there to warn the others, and of course that comes with a lot of experience, which is exactly what Saskia Totaro has. There is Tony Garvin, who has come into the pit lane on his number 8. Now, Khalfan Al-Khabi has not come through on the 89. The 28 of Fahad Saif Al-Zabi has not come through either. Neither has Mithin on the number 10. Well, Mithin's just come across the line now. So the 89 and 28. Now, they've not come through Sector 2 by the looks of it. At least the 29 has not come through. And that is nobody that we're looking at here, actually, come to think of it. Of course, the lap times look a bit slower now, and there's a lot of red on our screen, and that's due to obviously all the riders coming back into the pit lane. So a final few adjustments. Now, interesting note there, that number 22 bike actually had a bit of a dipstick issue with the oil. It came out of place during qualifying, and the team did a magnificent job to get that car up and the bike, excuse me, up and running again. But unfortunately, a very limited session earlier on for the number 22 rider, which is Scott Francis, who joins us this weekend as well. As more riders make their way into the pit lane. So we haven't seen the 28 come through. We haven't seen Mohammed Shamsir. Tom Robson has just come into the pit lane as well. Manuel Para is not coming either. Now that's Al-Khabi there. That was one of the riders that we were keeping an eye out for there as well, here at the Yas Marina circuit. As the riders will pull into the pit lane, they'll hop off their bikes. Okay, don't want to be sat on them for too long, to be honest, especially when the red flag conditions are here. It might be comfortable when you're racing at 180 plus kilometers an hour, but it's nothing you want to be doing while you are sat stationary. We could sit on something far more comfortable. As, there is the 39 of Mohammed Shamsir having a quick debrief there with his team. There's Sasuke Totaro on his Kawasaki. Hoping to see him back on his Ducati later on in this season, but for now he's very comfortable having that Kawasaki underneath him. Taking him around the Yas Marina circuit. So the 39 we've just seen, there is the 28 bike of Fahad Saif Al-Zabi. And we hope he is okay as well. We've seen the bike, but we've not seen Fahad just yet. But the red flag condition at the moment around the track, the entire track is neutralized as the bike is recovered behind the wall. And brings an early stop to our first live session here for the DSBK Middle East Championship. The clock has officially stopped with 14 minutes left. We've got a 20-minute session for qualifying, quite a long session actually for the riders. But of course, this is an all-new track to them. Yes, they've done track days, but they haven't done qualifying around here before. So that is a new experience for a lot of the riders here to get to grips with. We, of course, use a shorter configuration than we do with the GP circuit. That's why we're seeing lap times of 1:13.593 from Simon Reed, the leader in the modified category, ahead of Saeed Al-Salati by 1/10 of a second, or closer to the 2/10 of a second mark. It's 0.151 separating the two of them. Sasuke Totaro is a further 1.2 seconds back in third. In the super stock, so Manuel Para has taken pole position away from Yuri Nekrasov, and Mohammed Shamsir sits third overall in qualifying at the moment. But Khalfan Al-Khabi, the rookie, is leading in that category, 8th overall with a 1:19.725. He's only 6 seconds off our race, or session leader, excuse me, Simon Reed, and he's about 6/10 of a second from Mohammed Shamsir. Tony Garvin is 4/10 of a second back from Khalfan. Then Dmitry Kuchnov, who was our leading rookie last time out here in the Dubai Autodrome in the DSBK Middle East Championship. As you see, tyre warmers go on to Tony Garvin's bike. And then in third in the rookies, we should have Fahad Saif Al-Zabi, but we've seen his bike being recovered. So the next one there is Hanan Suleiman, the only female rider in the field. She's not the first female rider, though, to take part in the DSBK Middle East Championship. We have had female riders before. However, she is the first female rider, if not mistaken, to be representing the United Arab Emirates, which is a massive achievement for her. And it's great to see more local talent being a part of these incredible racing series that we have here in the United Arab Emirates. And it's always great to see drivers and riders hailing from not just the region, but the countries itself. We have Qatar in the field as well, Saeed Al Salati from Qatar, of course. And then we look at Hanan Suleiman on her Yamaha R6, a 71 for Roth Moto, her first year in the championship. Great to see her already up there and vying for a top 3 in qualifying, which would be a fantastic effort from her if she can find a way up past and stay ahead of the 28, because right now she's got Minna Abdulgoji behind her, who has a 1:21.630. As the session now resumes, the green flag or the green light has appeared at the end of pit exit, and we have a few riders who have made their way out, including Saskia Totaro, Manuel Parra, Tom Robson, Kalfan Alkabi, and Johan Gaas, who have made their way out of the pit lane. Anthony Garvin strips off the tyre warmers, and he gets going pretty much immediately as well, because he'd like to improve his position, as does Mohamed Shamsir. Yuri Nekrasov has gone out now as well, and it looks like more riders are filtering their way onto the track as we speak. Qatari Saeed Al Salati now on the track as well, our race winner from 2 weeks ago. A double race winner as well was Saeed. More riders now work their way. Just Dmitry Kuchnov, Hanan Suleiman, Mounir Abdulgoji, Scott Francis now works his way onto the track. Lionel Henry and the number 10 have yet to make their way out. Although we're saying that, we've just seen another rider go out onto the track. And let's see when the session restarts. It'll take a little bit of time to get up to speed for the riders here, but it is a short track configuration, although it does have that chicane on the back straight. Yes, it would be the back straight in this configuration, because it is not the other straight, because the back straight will be off there to the right, that used in the Radical World Finals and Golf Pro Car, which of course are racing here this weekend. There is the number 15, Simon Reed, the session leader and provisional pole sitter. As you can see on the left-hand side of your screens, a 1:13.593 is a time to beat as he makes his way into the chicane. There was Saskia Totaro, and he's being closely followed by, now, I did see a 4 at the end of that. Well, that's Manuel Parra that's chasing down Saskia Totaro, because he is actually the bike that's just behind him by 0.4 of a second at the moment. There is the 86 bike, currently sat in 6th position overall. That's Tom Robson. He sits 4th overall and modified with a 1:17.720. But now, with the outlap completed, we can now have some more laps to be completed here around the Yas Marina circuit. As onto the back straightaway, the only rider not to come out after the red flag is Hanan, who is now in 12th position, 4th overall in the rookies, behind the 28. And the other rookie that's behind her is Mithin, who is down in 17th at the moment. And what a monumentous occasion this is here for the DSBK Middle East Championship, to be racing at the first time here at the Yas Marina circuit. And it's great that we're using the North Circuit configuration as well. It's a very quick track as well, 1:13.593 for Simon Reed. That's the time to beat still for the rest of the field. But Saeed Al Salati's just gone quickest through sector 2 with a 30.979, as Tony Garvin now moves up into 8th overall. That puts him 3rd fastest in the super stock category as he's across the line. But what about Saeed Al Salati? Has he got enough? He does close up in the 1:13s, but it's a 1:13.682. He's 3/100ths of a second off of Simon Reed's time at the moment, as Johan Gaas making his way around the track there. 14th overall at the moment, looking for an improvement. Yuri Nekrasov has come into the pit lane, as both Tom Robson and Sebastian Bursa both move up the order as well. Tom up into 6th, with Sebastian now up into 7th. Yuri Nekrasov's gone back out. That moves Tony Garvin back now into 8th, but he's still 3rd overall in super stock, ahead of Mohamed Shamsir by about 1/10 of a second between the two of them. But what can Said Al-Salati do this time round? And what about Yuri Nekrasov with Manuel Parra? These two had a great battle in last season. Fought tooth and nail for pole positions and the win in class. Let's see what they can do now at the first time around the Yas Marina circuit. There is the Qatari, Said Al-Salati, the man to watch out for here. He was rapid in both race 1 and 2 2 weeks ago. Interesting that we're not racing on a Saturday here this weekend. Instead, we're racing tomorrow, as Mohammed Shamsir now goes 3rd fastest in the super stock category, and he goes 7th fastest overall, moving past both Tony Garvin and Sebastian Bursa. Johan Gauers now moving his way up the order, edging closer to the top 10 as well, is the South African. And Hanan still the only rider not to make her way out onto the Yas Marina circuit is Dmitry Kochinov, now the quickest rookie, and he's now got a bike in between himself and his closest rival of Fahad Saif Al-Zabi. So there's actually 2 bikes in between. Is it 2 or 1? No, there's 1, because actually Tony Garvin, then it's Kalfan Al-Khabi, and then it's Johan Gauers in between Al-Khabi and Al-Zabi at the moment, the 89 and 28. But the 28, I'm not sure we'll be getting back out in this session. Manuel Parra, though, now has a bike between himself and Yuri Nekrasov in the likes of the number 5, Asaska Totaro, who is now 4th fastest at the line. But up front, the gap is still 3/100ths of a second, separating Simon Reed and Said Al-Salati here around the Yas Marina circuit. And for those of you following at home, this is, of course, the first live session for the DSBK Middle East Championship, as bike number 15 has had a lap time removed on lap number 6. Bike 15 was Simon Reed. Now, good thing for him is that was not his fastest lap time so far, where his 1:13.593 still stands. Said Al-Salati comes into the pit lane, as does Simon Reed here. So maybe a few tweaks here for the 2 leaders out in front in the modified category. Leader in Superstock still Manuel Parra, ahead of Yuri Nekrasov and Mohammed Shamsir, who sits down in 8th place, who has to find a way past both Tom Robson and Sebastian Bursa to get any closer to Yuri Nekrasov. Said Al-Salati's been in and out, so that might be just a pressure change there, or just a slight tweak there from the team. There is the 34, hands up in the air to signify that he's slowing down and coming into the pit lane. The 34 there, that's Manuel Parra, the current quickest rider in super stock, with, as we said, a 1:14 last time round, a 1:14.560 actually. This time on the timing screens actually shows us a 1:35, but that's because he's come into the pit lane, hasn't he? He's slowed down. Said Al-Salati and Simon Reed come out together. So I wonder if this is a tactic between the 2 of them to come in together so they can continue to follow each other's lines to see where the other is fastest. Now, that's quite interesting. I wonder if those are some mind games going on between those 2. As Tony Garvin moves up the order, now is 3rd fastest in super stock, so takes that away from the Mohammed Shamsir ridden number 39, as through the corner, diving as low as he can, is Tony Garvin here. Would love to be back on the podium, but would love to be 1 step higher this time round, or preferably 2 steps higher this time round in the super stock category. Let's see what he can do on this lap. Well, he's done a 28.314 on this lap through sector 1, but onto the back straight he goes. Will take the left-hander through the chicane that, of course, has been added here. And the red flag has come out again by the looks of it. Yes, it has. We just saw that on the right-hand side when Tony Garvin is approaching the chicane there. And the clock has stopped again. This is our 2nd flag, and that is, well, it's an 8. It's either Tom Robson or it's Kalfan Al-Khabi. And it's the 86 of Tom Robson, the 6th place rider. Well, good news is that he's standing on his own 2 feet, and he's talking there to the marshals. They're obviously checking to see if he's okay, and that's great news. That's always what we love to see here. We always like to see that the riders and drivers are always safe when racing. Of course, we couldn't do that without the help of our amazing marshals. A huge shout out to each and every one of them. They make these events so successful, and they're scattered around the track. They're here from the crack of dawn till the sun goes down, and of course, without the marshals, those men men and women that you see in orange on the sides of the track, waving the flags. They do a fantastic job, and we really appreciate them being here with us each and every race weekend. There is Tom Robson. So the session will be halted again with 5 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock. And then we will go, hopefully, back to more qualifying there. There's a very happy Anthony Garvin. I'm sure the team will inform him that you're third fastest. But maybe not get too happy at the moment, Anthony. Maybe try and push for second, if not take away pole in qualifying in the super stock category, because currently that goes the way of Manuel Parra. Yuri Nekrasov sits in second, and then of course Tony Garvin third in super stock. Then in modified, Simon Reed, Seidar Salati and Saskia Tatara are your top three. In the rookies, it's Dmitry Kuchinov and Kalfan Al-Khabi, your top three, and then Scott Francis, excuse me, is now third overall. So he moved up the order late in the session there before the red flag came out. There is the 34. That's a very happy Manuel Parra, current pole sitter in class as well. He'll be very happy on his return into the DSBK Middle East Championship to be on pole on his return. Was not with us 2 weeks ago. He decided to sit out due to other commitments, but great to have him back in the championship and really taking the fight to each and every rider that's here, because of course we have a number of returning faces from the previous years and seasons, but of course the previous race weekend as well 2 weeks ago. But also we have some newcomers as well, which is always great that the grid is constantly expanding. We had around 12 riders last time out. This time round we're up to 18. Actually on our entry list here we have 15, so we're missing 3 riders. I know Seidar Salati is one of them that we're missing. And I have a feeling Sarah is somewhere down in pit lane, and hopefully we get an interview during the red flag period here, hopefully with one of our pole sitters, either Simon Reed or Manuel Parra. It'd be great to have their insights as well at some point to see how they're feeling with their setup. The track here is on, of course, racing at the Yas Marina circuit. It's an amazing accomplishment here for the series to come down here and have the track prepared and ready to go for motorcycle racing here. You see Saskia Tatara there taking his helmet off. Now, interesting enough, the red flag has been removed from our screens. It says that the clock has stopped. A number of riders have decided to take their helmets off. I think Saskia Tatara is quite happy there with third place. I'm not sure if he'll get back out, but we just saw there the 31 of Dmitry Kuchinov, our rookie pole sitter at the moment, take his helmet off, having a quick breather. The red flag was withdrawn, and then as soon as he had the helmet off, he had to put it back on. So no break there for you, Dmitry. You're going to have to push hard, but of course that is something that he did last time out as well, actually, in qualifying. He was one of the few riders to consistently stay out and just do lap after lap, because of course when you're a rookie in the championship you want as much track time as possible, and best of all, if you have people around you, you can kind of feel what it's like to have riders around you, but at the same time when you've got an empty track you can kind of feel it for yourself, and that's of course what Dmitry did. He saw everyone else was in the pit lane and he decided, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to get as much track time as I can, and he took pole position, and of course he took a win in both races last time out in the rookie category, and that's why he's currently sitting in pole. He is constantly pushing himself, but we're back to green flag here in qualifying with just under 5 minutes remaining on the clock. And I just saw Sarah working her way down towards the motorcycle garages there as soon as the red flag was withdrawn. But maybe we'll see if we can get an interview with the riders after the session has been completed here for qualifying. So 4.5 minutes remain on the clock for Simon Reed, Seidar Salati and Saskia Tatara, your top three. Looks like Saskia decided he will go back out and try and take away pole position from Simon Reed here in the modified category in super stock. Manuel Parra has decided to stay in, as has Yuri Nekrasov and Tony Garvin. So interesting, our top three, actually our top four in super stock have decided to stay in the pit lane, because Mohamed Shamsia is also in. Now we only have, well, Munir Abdugoji has also not gone back out. Lionel Henry is the only rider in the super stock category to still be circulating here and qualifying. So what can he do here in the final stages of qualifying with 4 minutes remaining on the clock? Will he be the one to upset the party? Well, Well, let's wait and find out. We've got 4 minutes to figure it out. Let's see. The 47 now working its way out of pit lane. That is Lionel Henry, who is off and back out there. All our rookies, except for Hanan Suleiman, has not come out. Currently shown as 15th at the moment, but she is 4th overall in the rookies. Sorry, 5th overall in the rookies. She's, as you said, down to 15th on the 71. She did not come back out after the first red flag was shown. 3 minutes left now on the clock. Does anybody have what it takes to take away pole position from Simon Reed? We'll see that's Salati's going to try, and he's 3/100 of a second back at the moment. There is the Qatari, double race winner from the first time out in the DSBK Middle East Championship. Good news is, thank you, Sarah, for the update. Tom Robson is okay and back in the garage. And that's always great to hear as well. Cedar Salati now takes pole position with a 1:13.577. He was quickest through sector 2, but he wasn't the quickest through sector 3. Instead, that went the way of Simon Reed with a 15.567. And we have a rider under investigation for overtaking under the red flag. That is rider number 89, Khalfan Al-Kabi, one of our rookies here at the DSBK Middle East Championship. Currently sat in, I think he's second in the rookies. Yes, he is. He is behind Dmitry Kuchinov here with a 1:19.069. 6/10 of a second back and trying to improve that lap time is Khalfan. There's Cedar Salati there, tucked up behind Simon Reed. Heavy in the brakes, shifting down through the gears, leaning as far down as possible through the left-hander of turn 5 and 6, but then they'll make their way through turn 7 and up through turn 16 they go. What can Simon Reed do? He was quickest through sector 1 with a 1:13.692, and it's an improvement again for Cedar Salati with a 1:13.329. The good news is, though, for Simon, there are still 2 laps left because we had over 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock before we went across the line there. And if you're doing 1:13s, there is definitely enough time left on the clock for both our top 2 here. Cedar Salati, Simon Reed, who are battling it out for top honours. Both of them will share the front row provisionally, but one of them wants to be in that all-important pole position here, and that will be on the right-hand side of your grid because it will be a standing start here as Saskia Totaro goes 3rd fastest and will join the other 2 modified riders on that front row here at the Yas Marina circuit for what will be tomorrow the first race officially for any motorcycle racing nationally on the Yas Marina circuit, and what an amazing achievement it has been. The organisers, specifically Naseed, has been working very hard to make this possible, and well, his dream became a reality this weekend with DSBK making a name for themselves here at the Yas Marina circuit to be the very first championship on 2 wheels to race around the Yas Marina circuit. Cedar Salati still leads by 2/10 of a second, or closer to the 3/10 of a second mark, as there is Lionel Henry in the super stock category on the 47. The checkered flag waves here officially for Khalfan Al-Kabi with a 1:18.931. He was 11th fastest out the line, and that is good enough for second at the moment in the rookies. But what about the rest of the rookies? What can they do? Scott Francis is still circulating. He did personal best through sector 1 and sector 2 on the previous lap, but he's gone yellow through sector 1 this time round. But can he improve through sector 2? What about Simon Reed? Well, he's gone 2/10 of a second faster through sector 1 compared to our pole sitter. What about through sector 2? Can Simon go quicker? A 31.589 for Saeed, but Simon Reed has a 34.292. He's going to have to go purple, though, through sector 3 if he wants to dethrone the Qatari. Simon Reed works his way through the final corners now. Can he take pole position at the line? We patiently wait for him to come across. And no, he decides to go straight into the pit lane by the looks of it, and we'll have to settle for second. But for now, we will have 3 riders at the moment from the modified category on the front row. The 11 of Cedar Saleti, the 15 of Simon Reed, and the 5 of Saskia Totaro. And then on the second row of the grid, we will have Manuel Para, Yuri Nekrasov, and Tom Robson. On row number 3, we will have Tony Garvin, Sebastian Bursa, and Mohamed Shamsia, a superstock with a modified and a superstock alongside for company. And then we see the first of our rookies, Dmitry Kuchinov, across the line, will take top honours in the rookie category with a 1:19.275 last time round, but a 1:18.446. They're not 2 minute laps here, they're 1:22.759 or less. And that wraps up qualifying here around the Yas Marina circuit. There is your pole sitter. Once again, the Qatari is on pole, as he did 2 weeks ago, and he'll be absolutely delighted with that. But he'll share the front row with Simon Reed and Saskia Totaro, the man there in the back on the number 5 on his Kawasaki. And you can see a number of riders already off their bikes, helmets off, jumpsuits off as well. Time to cool down after a 20-minute qualifying session. I can see Sarah and the camera crew already down there, so we'll hopefully get some interviews with the riders here at the end. Be great to get some of their thoughts, especially the pole sitters and the rookie, of course, as well. What it's like not just to sit on pole position here around the Yas Marina circuit, but of course racing around this circuit in Abu Dhabi for the first time. There's Saskia Totaro and Lionel Henry there, both having a quick chat with their engineers. Just cooling down the bikes as well before they're parked up in the garages for some final tweaks for racing tomorrow, because of course we will not see more racing today from the DSBK Middle East Championship. Instead, we'll host 2 races tomorrow, one at 12:10, which of course you can watch live on the DSBK Middle East Championship YouTube page, with the pit lane opening at 11:50 tomorrow. You can join us live from there. And of course, race number 2 will take place at 4:55. So it'll be a late race, actually, for the DSBK Middle East Championship. It'll be one of the latest bikes that we actually have. Now then, the track will be open actually for practice starts here, because of course, with it being the first time ever, the riders here are racing around the Yas Marina circuit. Of course, they want to get as much practice as they can, so they'll line up on the grid. It's great to see Naseed there as well. Of course, the owner, the founder of the championship as well, keeping a very close eye on the bikes, and I'm quite sure if he could, he would take that hat off, he would put a helmet on, and he'd be back on track immediately if he had a bike ready to go. And it's great to see him so involved in the championship as well. He really does love his motorcycle racing, and great to see him walking around the paddock area as well all the time. As the riders will exit the pits here and go to the practice starts. As they, but now with qualifying over and done with, let's check out some highlights here from qualifying for race 1 of the DSBK Middle East Championship.